that for sure. To control, to have good control over the ranges of motion, you would need to resort. But then, when you work those muscles and got them that stance, and since you're a spasticity um, survivor,
Hmm.
you also need the stretching or some kind of lengthening or therapeutic action that relieves the stress from all that cramped up muscles. And when the muscles now return to the neutral positions and even go longer than the neutral position with the
Oh,
stressing protocol, they seem to relax more. And it's in that relaxed state you could now begin to see better control of either the limbs, the upper extremity or the lower extremity, or what part of the body you're trying to move. So they come together. It's not one being so much more important than the other.
hmm,
Because if you have stretching alone, you have muscles that could do passive range of motion. And by passive, I mean the therapy is helping your legs or your hands or your body to move around,
hmm,
and you're able to like do those range of motion. But when your therapists aren't helping you, if the muscles are not strong to pick up the movement,
hmm.
or you don't have the neurological um,
That's true.
connection,
Hmm.
that the proprioception, then it's almost useless. You can't mimic that motion. So we need the workouts to build that muscle
Hmm.
strength. We need the stretching, um, to lengthen the muscles and relax them and
Yeah.
improve flexibility.
Hmm.
And then that also brings in the integration of both the workout and the stretching, the proprioception techniques that help you form those new connections.
That's true. It's very tough for me, in my experience at least, to get myself to do some stretching because I have it hardwired in my head, and I think others can relate to this that no pain, no gain. So if I'm laying there and I'm just doing these really fine movements and just, really stretching and I don't really feel much, I don't feel benefits at the moment, but will I get long term benefits from stretching even if I'm not, necessarily feeling anything?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you get a lot of long term benefit from stretching. I took an active stretching class.
Uh huh.
How much to say how I care about stretching, um, and it really helped me because an active soccer player, and I could compare my performance before I took the class and my performance after that. Taking a whole quarter length active stretching class really improved my performance in the game. Even though I had an injury in the time, I could markedly see that my speed picked up, my pace picked up.
Hmm.
The tricks I could do with the ball also kept up. But this is a big takeaway for you. You talked about pain being gain. Well, it's a perspective thing for me. I don't want to go into that. It's a little bit of a digression from what we're talking
Hmm.
about. But you can't take away that you need that flexibility and range of motion to go about what you want to do. If you have the strongest arm in the world
Hmm.
and you cannot get behind your head, how do you comb your
That's
hair?
true.
You need a little flexibility. And with flexibility comes life. With mobility comes life. If when we're dead and when we've passed on, we're all rigid and stiff.
Hmm.
So when you're able to move those limbs and have that flexibility, it also speaks to the health. And
Hmm.
it speaks directly to those components of your body that are directly impacted by movement. That's the skeletal system and your muscular system.
Right.
Great.
And then that reminds me, like, when it comes to therapy, people often think of physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, but you don't really hear so much about, like, stretch therapy. So, how important do you think it is for somebody in a brain injury or any recovery to incorporate a stretching regimen into their recovery program?
All right, good question. Um, wow. So one of the reasons why you may not hear so much about stretch therapy, it's because you have stretch therapy as a subset of some of these protocols you're going through. So sometimes your personal trainer, your physical therapist might not do it directly to you, but they will recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes they will help you do it.
That's true.
But it's a subset of this bigger picture. It's a very little component of this bigger picture. So you don't want to create probably a whole career or a whole kind of thing just from stretching.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a massage therapist and I've gone through like two classes on stretching and
Mm-hmm.
protocols like that. It's really important. I'm super sure physical therapists went through all that kind of training. Even people in different healthcare professions like nursing and
Mm-hmm.
care aides and provider, they take some of these kind of